Hey guys, I'm Jordan and you're watching Fixbook. After watching this video, your car problems stand about as much a chance as this laptop does against my hot lead. Now, make sure you stay tuned so you can see what happened to the laptop at the end of this video. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. So today, I'm going to show you how to fix a rattling noise on your Honda Accord. Okay guys, and the tools you'll need for today's video is a 3/8 ratchet, a 10mm socket, and a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so what I'm going to be showing you today is going to fix this problem. Now, when you're sitting in a stoplight, and if your engine rumbles a little bit, you can have a rattling noise that comes from your hood being loose. I'm going to show you how to tighten that up and eliminate that noise if that's what you're suffering from. Again, that's the rattling noise. Now I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay guys, now our problem primarily is going to lie right here and also right over here. Okay guys, now the one thing we can try doing here is we can try adjusting our hood seats first. And basically this is your hood seat, it's a rower piece, and when you spin it left you're rising it up, and these will run all the way down, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, and 3, and that's gonna lift it up a little bit, so it's gonna make it a tighter fit there for the hood when it sits down, because the seat's gonna be a little bit higher. But that's not gonna be enough for us, and I was thinking that one was adjustable too, but it's not, so can't do nothing about that one. But what we're really gonna want to do is we're gonna come over right about here, and I'm gonna zoom in for us, and right there we're gonna take this guy off, and by taking this off we'll be able to take this plastic cover off here, which will allow us to get to the bolts that we need to get to do the real adjusting, which is really gonna help us. So I'm gonna take a flathead screwdriver, I'm gonna reach in here, and I'm just gonna begin to pry. We really need to get this guy off, and there we go, he popped right off, and that's what he's gonna look like. He's just a little kind of pushing clip to help hold this guy on here. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and show you how to remove this plastic piece completely. So here we are guys, and first if we lift up, it's kind of clipped on right there, and then there's another piece over here where it's kind of just latching on, and you just want to feel around and you'll just kind of pry and pull, and this guy should give way here any moment. And there we go. So I got that piece off. Now we have 3 bolts here, 1, 2, 3, and only those 3, and we're gonna loosen those up, and they're gonna be adjustable, and it's gonna allow us to kind of push this guy down. And the idea here is the hood is going to clip right in there, I believe it's going to be. By lowering this whole assembly, we're going to bring the hook that's attached to the hood lower. So it's going to be tightening the hood, and we're going to eliminate that rattle by doing so. So we'll begin by taking a 10mm socket with a ratchet and loosening these 3 bolts. Okay guys, and I got my ratchet, my 10mm socket, and I've already loosened these 2. You can see I've loosened that one and this one, and we can see how it's moving right there, and I haven't loosened this one yet. So now when I loosen this one, you're gonna see he's gonna drop down a little bit. He just did, he dropped down. Now I've got them all loose, so we can see how this guy goes up and down. It's made to be adjusted. So what's happened is this guy originally either sat down here, or over time it's just kind of ridden up a little bit, because it does have a lot of stress being held down like that. So it's basically just ridden up, so we need to kind of set it back down in such a way that when we set the hood down, it's going to tighten up. So what I'm going to do at first is I'm just going to let it drop all the way, and I'm going to tighten these bolts back up. And at first it's probably not going to be the right position, like having it just set all the way down. That's probably not going to be the right position, but we're going to judge it by setting it down here first. And we can really just tighten these 2. We don't need to tighten the last one until we're doing everything, because as you can see it's just fine right there. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the hood, and we're going to see how this works. Now as you can see, the hood doesn't shut, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjust it up a little bit until it catches and it stays down, and it stays down solid. So now I'm gonna pick my hood back up and we're gonna try that again. Alright, so here's trial number 2. We're gonna loosen them up there. And there we go. And I'm gonna get out my electric guy here so I can just kind of zap them. It'll make it a little bit easier for me. And here we go. So since I'm just doing this with the one hand here, I'm gonna just lift them up there just a little bit and pretty centered. Now it's setting up just a little bit. I'm gonna reach in there and got that guy. And there we go. So we're tight, and I'm just gonna make sure it's good and tight for what we need here. So there, now I'm gonna set the hood back down once again, and we're gonna see how it does. There we go, and we've got that little bit of rattle there still, and I can tell it's better than it was. It's closer at least, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop my hood, bring it back up, and we're gonna adjust it downward just a little bit more. And here we are, trial number 3. So this time I'm gonna loosen this guy up. I'm just gonna hold him right where he's at, and there we go, he's loose there. Just gonna do this real easy because we can see he just moved there. We want to kind of stay exactly where we're at. Oh, and I lost my spot. So I know before I went up just a little bit. This time I'm just gonna go up even a little bit less. I'm gonna set my ratchet here, and so I'm gonna bring him up just a little bit less. And there we go, that's a little bit less, so I'm going to make sure these are tightened all the way. And then we're going to drop our hood on it one more time and see if this isn't any tighter. And look at that, you can definitely see that it's a lot better. Now what we might do is we'll see if we can adjust the hood seats up a little bit, and then that might take out that little bit of play we got. If it doesn't, I'll go ahead and just wash, rinse, repeat. I'll drop it even lower and just lift up a little bit lower and see if we can't get that little bit of a rattle out. And really guys, if you take your hand and just rock it back and forth, you really have to grab a hold of it to make it shake. So that might actually be enough, but I'll see here in just a second, and I'll show you how we're gonna fine tune it with those hood seats. Okay guys, and before I show you the final thing there with that little latch, I want to show you what I did here. Was I worked on adjusting the hood seat, and we can see if I push my finger straight, my finger runs into the thing. What I did was I did 3 half turns. So with the hood seat, I did 3 half spins on it from being ran all the way down. So what I'm gonna do is when I open the hood next time, I'm gonna do 1.5 spins on that hood seat, and that should make the hood sit a little bit more even with this fender right here. So now I'll show you here what I'm gonna do in just a moment. Okay guys, so I finally got it how I like it. And originally when I showed you guys me dropping this whole assembly all the way down, that was actually what was the best situation for this particular hood, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end of this video. But for now, I just want to show you exactly about how tight you want these bolts. And I ran this one down, and you're gonna watch me here right about like that right there. You don't want to go much further. These are small bolts. I already tightened this one up, and you'll see me tighten this one down here. This one's pretty loose, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this one up. But like I was saying, these are really small bolts. They're body bolts. They're pretty easy to strip, so right about like that right there. You don't need to put a whole lot of force, or you're gonna tear up the threads on the bolt and the threads inside the hole there. So that's all tightened back. And also, just another little note here, what ended up working for me for the hood seats was 1.5 spins on that side, and then for this side it didn't need as much, so I spun all the way down to the right, and that's what ended up making the hood sit evenly with this fender. So now I'll go ahead and show you me closing the hood, and I'll show you how much better it is than what we originally started out with. Okay, and another thing, before I show you how well the hood was put back together, I wanted to show you this too, that we got one 2, and 3, and 4 actually. We got 4 things we need to snap this plastic piece back on, including this little piece right here. So first, I'm gonna make sure I got my piece lined up down here. I'm gonna snap him back in. And you kind of heard him snap back in. Then next, I'm gonna make sure this little stuff all lines up, and then I'm gonna lift this piece over there. It's gonna snap in, and then this piece on the side is also snapped in. And I'm just looking down in, and it looks like my other piece is snapped in too. So just, I guess, kind of push it back in, make sure it's in there well. That's in there pretty well. Now I'll show you me shutting the hood and all that good stuff. So go ahead and right like so, and then I'll go ahead and drop the hood. And we still have a little bit of a rock there, but that's really if you push down. If you don't push down and I'm just grabbing here, I'm just kind of shaking it. Before, it was a whole lot worse, so it's a lot better than it was, and that's how you go about fixing it there. Also, I'll take you off the thing here, and we'll see. It's hard to see, but it's a lot better there. And then we're gonna look over here, and before you could see my finger would run into it, now it just runs over it. That's also looking well. So that's how you go about fixing that annoying rattle noise you have oftentimes when you're sitting at the stoplight. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all my new videos, which publish Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will see you then.